From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your morning update.
Do you have a ranch, home, or business in a wildfire area? While insurance companies are pulling out of high-risk zones, Rodondi Insurance is still writing policies right here in the North State. Rodondi Insurance, rock-solid protection since 1920.
Happy Tuesday morning to you. You know, it was not a bad day out there. Kind of the overcast skies. We saw a little bit of rain. Most of the rain was on the coast, as you can clearly see here. Look at that, an inch in Eureka. A little bit less than that out in Crescent City. And, of course, down to the south, Redway, about 0.06. And as expected, we just didn't see nearly as much rainfall as you head outside of the coast. But we did see some minor accumulating rain in parts of the valley and even some of the higher elevations. I want to show you one more image. This was sent to us by Terry Womack. Now, you may remember this on Sunday, but Terry shared this on Monday. She shared this yesterday, and I thought, boy, there's another beautiful shot. I wanted to go ahead and share that with you all, as I'm sure Terry would have liked for you to have seen it as well. And Terry, by the way, used our free Weather NorCal app to share that photo. You can do the same, and you just might see it right here on the Morning Update and on Coffee with Krueger. Let's get you out the door this morning for your Tuesday, June 9th, starting off with that skeeter meter. On a scale of 0 to 5, it is on a 2. Hey, by the way, I want to remind you that, you can always just check for standing water in your property. A few things to take a look at: pet water bowls and troughs, plants that naturally hold water, leaky hoses, sprinklers, faucets, rain barrels, water containers. And if you have any concerns about mosquitoes in your area, on your property, you can always call the Shasta Mosquito and Vector Control, the number on your screen. All right, so this morning, you're getting yourself off to work. Maybe some kids still have school. I know my son is out for the summer, but we are looking at some clouds out there this morning, which are going to be quickly dissipating. And that's just because high pressure is starting to settle back in, and that's going to allow us to warm back up as well. Let's take a look at Futurecast, and there you can see the clouds this morning. By midday, most of those clouds are gone. Still some clouds, especially along the coast, as you can see there. But even the coast will see some clearing and more sunshine throughout the afternoon. Here's what we have for today. We'll call it partly cloudy, but again, those clouds will be on the decrease through the morning. And today's the transition day from the cooler weather we started with to the much, much warmer weather we do have later this week. And for tonight, we're dropping down to about 60 in the valley, 40s for the higher elevations, and somewhere in the mid to upper 40s for the coast. There's your 7-day outlook. There's that significantly warmer weather I was talking about. Now, for the first time officially this year, I know some of you have your temperature gauges that have read 100 degrees so far this year, but officially, we have yet to see 100 degrees. And by Thursday, I think the triple digits will be here, and they'll be here for a while, going at least through the weekend, even into early next week. Now, of course, that's not the case for the coast, but it is warming up. I mean, we're getting close to 70 degrees by Friday and Saturday, but otherwise, inland and even Trinity County could see some triple-digit heat as well. Siskiyou, Modoc County, the Eastern Mountains, going well into the 90s, especially by the weekend and early next week. All right, let's take a look at that fire weather risk, because, we went from the cool and wet weather yesterday to much warmer weather on the forecast. And we've got gusty winds, low humidity, and heat to contend with here for your Wednesday, Thursday. That's why there's a red flag warning. Now, again, the winds today shouldn't be that much of an issue. A little breezy off to the north and east, a little breezy along the coast as well. But take a look at Wednesday, especially in the valley. We are seeing those gusts possibly over 30, 35 miles per hour. That may be the case again on Thursday, before we kind of just start to see the winds start to slowly subside for your Friday. So looking at our fire weather risk and our humidity. Humidity are the numbers on your screen there. Still not that bad today. So again, today's that transition day, but as those winds pick up, we're really starting to see a lot of those deep oranges in there, indicating that elevated fire weather risk with those north winds. Now, I do expect even deeper oranges and some reds. When we start getting into those reds, that's when we really have to pay attention and do whatever we can to prevent any new fire starts. But the good news is, by Friday, even though we're seeing some deep oranges in there, humidity is still low. We are starting to see that fire weather risk drop just a little bit. All right, here's a look at your weather headlines. Decreasing clouds and warmer today. Warming trend the rest of the week. I expect it to peak sometime around Saturday. Triple-digit heat for the first time this year, probably sometime around Thursday. And there's that red flag warning I was talking about in the valley for Wednesday and Thursday. Let's get into that deeper dive forecast, shall we? And we're going to go ahead and start off with that satellite image. Now, what we're beginning to see here is just a big void of clouds, right? That big void of clouds is that ridge of high pressure that's going to be building in more and more. These clouds, that's what moved through us yesterday. That's what gave us the overcast skies, the wet weather, right? As that moves out, we're going to start to see clearing here throughout the day. So let's take a look at Futurecast. Now, as you see, the clouds this morning, some clearing this morning in some areas here, but by midday, most of those clouds will be gone. Still a few clouds, especially in the mountains and even along the coast. But then, yeah, look at this. Mostly sunny skies, even for the coast, by the second half of the day. All right, so we take a look at Futurecast extending on into Wednesday. There you can see those sunny skies we have in the forecast. We take you into Thursday. We've got those sunny skies in the forecast. We take you into Friday. Now, keep in mind, too, along with those sunny skies, we also got that heat, which is making its way here as well. So drier than normal conditions are expected, as the Climate Prediction Center is indicating. That ridge of high pressure is what's going to be building over the next several days. Now, you can see it's getting warmer and building even more. I expect it to peak sometime around Saturday, Sunday, before it starts to actually kind of move back down to the south and west. And that heat will drop a little bit. Still warm, but we may actually drop below 100 degrees by the time we do get into parts of next week. Now, there's the warmer than normal conditions again, as predicted by the Climate Prediction Center. And looking at that 10-day trend, yeah, there it is. See, it peaks sometime around Saturday, Sunday, and then temperatures start to slowly subside after that, or drop after that. Taking a look at your lake levels, they're still very healthy, still over 100% of that historical average, and once again, just seeing those minor drops as we would typically see. Wave heights, they're not going to be changing a whole lot. There actually still is a small craft advisory through this morning that should be allowed to expire, as the wave height should start to show signs of dropping a little bit here. Winds from the northwest at about 10 to 15 knots. There's a look at your waves and that small craft advisory that we do have this morning. Looking at your neighborhood forecast, sponsored by Dignity Health and Grange Co-op. All right, for Trinity County, we've got temperatures in the 70s, even some 80s in there, and yes, even some triple-digit heat by the end of the week and this upcoming weekend. No triple digits, obviously, for the coast, but you are talking close to 70 degrees by the end of the week and this upcoming weekend. Inland, some triple-digit heat for you as well by Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Siskiyou County, don't expect triple-digit heat, but it will be well into the 90s by the time we get into the weekend and even early next weekend. For Modoc County, decreasing clouds today. Temperatures in the low 70s, 90s by the weekend. Eastern Mountains, it's going to be on the warm side, especially by the time we get into Thursday, Friday. Mid-90s by Friday through the weekend. And those mid-90s will probably stick around through early next week. 85 degrees out towards Orland, 86 degrees for Hamilton City. So again, today is that transition day. The clouds we're seeing this morning, those are dissipating. Temperatures are increasing. We're back into the triple digits for Chico by Thursday, or should we say see triple digits for the first time this year. All right, so there you can see temperatures mid to even some upper 80s for some of the warmer spots in the valley. Looking at that 7-day forecast for Redding, 102 degrees by Thursday, 105 on Friday, peaks on Saturday with a high of 106. I'll be back again at noon for the latest Check Your Weather. Have a great morning.
At Wind River Resort and Casino, we like to celebrate life's little moments. Oh, and the big ones too, because around here, when you're completely in the moment, that's when the magic happens. Come in and find your moment at Wind River Resort and Casino.